Hey there everybody, Johnny T here, and today we're going to replace the capacitor in the Seiko Kinetic watch. This is a GMT version. I'm not entirely sure how this repair is going to go, so we'll see. I think I should be able to replace the capacitor. It's a funny story. I bought a capacitor for a different Seiko GMT watch that I failed to get working. I actually accidentally damaged it somehow. But this is the capacitor. I think it's been sitting in a drawer for about 6 months. Hopefully it still works. But it came with all of the individual pieces that I'm gonna need to do the swap. But this is a Panasonic MT920. So I haven't tested the voltage on it. I'm just going to install it and hope for the best, honestly. But yeah, this is a relatively new looking Seiko watch. It's got our indicator. I think this button here might be how we tell how much juice is inside of the capacitor. This acts a lot like a mechanical watch, but it uses an electronic capacitor to kind of keep the time ticking away. Yeah, so this is has this red GMT hand over here at the 5 o'clock. Otherwise, it's a three-hander. It's got these kind of broadsword shaped hands. Big fat one for the hours hand, a skinny one for the minutes hand. And then the second's hand just has a little bit of a needle tip there with a little diamond, it looks like, as the second's indicator. Indices are nice and applied with lume. We do have a splash of red at the 24-hour 0600, 1200, and 1800. Or the 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. Yeah, pretty cool looking watch. It's got these kind of cool looking industrial bolts, these hexagonal bolts in the bezel, which is neat. Bezel's also knurled for no apparent reason other than decoration, as far as I could tell. The case does have these really interesting notches drilled into it those are legit. Probably, I don't know, maybe 3 to 5 millimeters deep, perhaps. Got them on this side as well with the crown. The lugs are actually quite interesting. I'm not entirely sure how you get those off. I'd imagine you put a tool in there and then they perhaps screw off. Those might just be a standard screw, perhaps. Just with a crazy looking screw head there with the 4 dots in it. Yeah, the reference number for this one is SUN007. Cost $600 once upon a time. 100 meters of water resistant. They call it Lumibrite hands and markers. Hardlux crystal. Oh, and this is the caliber. So 5M65. That's the movement. Yeah. What do they call that? Expedition case back. So we can see the movement, which we'll see in a second. So what I'm going to want to do is just kind of separate. So this is just your standard, I don't know, the Seiko bracelets are never really super good, but I mean, this is a $600 watch, but it just seems like a pretty typical snap style. I can't remember what you call fold snap clasp, perhaps, or bracelet. The case shape is actually quite interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Proprietary bracelet. It's got kind of a cross shape to the case. Interesting. Okay, well, let's split the with the bracelet. Oop. I just don't want this to fly out, which it didn't. Looks like we have some some plastic left over from the original packaging. Spring bar is nice and shiny, so this watch appears to be new unworn. There'll be more evidence of that showing up now. So we still have the plastic for the case back, and here is our rotor, and then that's the capacitor we're going to replace right there. So I believe I have to take the rotor off in addition to some other things. Alright, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and try and get this case back off. I feel like I should probably put it in a vise and then put some plastic on it so I don't scratch it up, because I would like to sell this watch as a new old stock watch and I don't want to damage anything. Damage would decrease the value, although it does have this pusher here, so maybe, I don't know, I don't really know how I'm gonna grab this with my vise. I guess down here, so I gotta spread these out quite a bit, the posts, maybe something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and put this microfiber cloth down. Yeah, I just don't want to damage anything. We'll put that down, put this in like so. I don't know if this is gonna work. It might barely. Yeah, that's good actually. Yeah, that grips on nice. So it's gripping in on the it's not the lugs, although you'd think it is, but it's actually gripping onto the bracelet. These flanges that come out, that's where I'm gripping on there. Seems to be working okay. So the next thing I want to do is find some relatively thick plastic to put over the watch movement so I don't scratch it. This method doesn't always work, but we'll try it out. I'm just going to use one of these Ziploc bags. I got so many of them. I'll just sacrifice it. Is that what I want to do? Oh, I got one that I don't like even more right here. So that should cushion. These lugs also appear to be thick enough to where I could really get some purchase on this. Yeah. Okay, let's try this out. Let's see what happens. Oh, I already slipped. There's a lot less purchase than you think. It's being deceptive. Okay, let's try that out perhaps. They're shallower than they look, but it looks like we got it started. Don't believe I scratched anything. I'll just do a couple more turns and then finish with the ball. Just like that. So far so good. We're about almost 10 minutes in. Alright. So, this is what the inside of the case back looks like. China case, Seiko Corp KO. Might be a little hard to see, but so the Japanese movement there, I think that's A0, and then 5M65-0AB0. That's our serial number right there. Stainless steel. And then we have water resistant 10 bar. That should be 100 meters, yes? So there's our Expedition case back. I don't think I will be storing my screws or anything in that because I don't want to scratch it. So I'm just going to use this little dish. So what we got here. So the symptoms of this watch is when you shake this rotor around, it doesn't really tick. Well, it does the 2 ticks per 2 seconds. I mean, every 2 seconds it'll tick twice, and that's, or maybe it's 3 times. Then that's a low capacitor indicator. And I put this in my watch winder, and I wound it for a few hours, and it just didn't do anything. So the capacitor is completely dead. That's right here. I believe. Yeah, this is such a beautiful movement, honestly. Yeah, so it's pretty much, it's got a rotor like an automatic, but it uses a battery like a quartz, or I guess a capacitor like a quartz watch. It's got a couple coils controlling the various hands and whatnot. Probably has a crystal as well somewhere, and so on and so forth. So, alright, without further ado, let's get the rotor off. That's next. So I think what I want to use is probably a 2.0 bit, this rotor. So I'm thinking that does say 2.0 there, and this is the fattest one I've got, and it's probably a really good rotor removing. Now I might have to hold this down, yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab it by where it's cut out with my tweezers, and then I'm just gonna try and whoops. This flathead is too thick, so we're going to go down to the 1.8, which is our yellow band. So this should be, it says 180 on it, but it should be a yellow band screwdriver, and it should be relatively thick, but it's going to be much thinner. I should probably, that seems to grip pretty well, so let's try that. Nope. This one seems to be too thick as well. So let's go down to the 1.6, which is our purple band. Now that actually feels like it's biting, so hopefully I think I'm going to use my finger instead. I'm going to put a finger caught on. I think using the finger might be, because I'm afraid I'm going to slip with that. So I'm just going to hold it down. Ah, much better. Yes. Okay. So the 1.6 seemed to work best there. It needs to be thin is the thing. Like the other ones were wide enough, but they weren't thin enough. So okay, so the rotor screw I'm gonna put at the top. This rotor should now come. Let's try not. I don't think we should lift up by these coils. We might damage the coils. So perhaps I can just lift it up like so. And then that's the other end of the rotor. I'm going to put that in my dish. And then this cog should also come up, and we want to be careful. Let's keep an eye, keep in mind its orientation, because it does want to go back a certain way. Let's remove that. And I believe the only parts I have to take off are these two screws down here. Now, the first time I took this watch apart. I actually made the mistake of taking off this whole plate like an idiot, and I could never get it back on, and I damaged the movement permanently. So I think all I need to do is take these two off. So I'm going to try this 1.6. You know what? It's a bit too wide. Let's go with a 1.2. So the 1.2 is going to be our red band. We'll try this one out on these two screws. That worked out. Okay, let's do the other screw now. So again, what we're doing, there was a screw here that I just took out, and then there's also a screw right here. Camera's not really picking that up, but that's where we're going next. So try not, if you slip and hit this coil, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So I'm actually going to put my finger kind of in the way so that hopefully it can't slip that way. That worked. Because yeah, the last thing you want to do is slip your screwdriver into that coil. Alright, so this all came up. My new capacitor also came with its own plate. We don't need that. It also came with the spacer thing. We could probably just reuse that, I'd imagine, so we're going to do that. And now we have access to our capacitor. We want to keep note of how this capacitor is oriented. And we want to obviously orient our new capacitor. Oh, and we don't want to use brass tweezers. I'm going to put those away. We don't want to short our capacitor at this point, as that would drastically reduce its capacitance, or capacity, or however. And okay, so I've got the new one oriented properly. I'm now going to remove the old one. Plastic tweezers. There's actually a little, I'll show it on the camera in a second. So that's been removed. There is a little, there's a little notch right here at the bottom. Oh, it'll help if my, well, we could kind of see it. It's black, but I'll get my silver screwdriver out. There's a little notch right here. Right there, for you to go underneath the capacitor. Okay, I'm now going to install the new capacitor. Old capacitor, I should say, because it's been sitting in a drawer for about 6-7 months. Hopefully it still works. So, whoop. Oop, be very careful not to damage our coil. I gotta turn this around completely. How did that even happen? So it wants to be like this. Yes, just like that. Okay. That seems to be just like the old one. Got our old gold-plated capacitor. We've now replaced it with our silver-plated capacitor. Orientation seems to be fine. This there's a little there's a little gold pin that's hitting up gold, or there's that silver pin hitting the gold pad right there. You want to make sure that that's making contact, because that's a metal contact for the battery. You're not going to get power if you don't hit that. So, but that all looks good. I'm going to go ahead and reinstall the old plates. Oh, I need to get that plastic bit. I'm going to change to my other tweezers now, as they are much more precise. So this little thing just kind of makes sure the battery doesn't short on any metal contacts, and there's a couple there's some plastic posts. I don't know if we could see, but there's a couple plastic posts at the top and on the left side that this red piece of plastic fits into to cover the battery appropriately. So now we should be able to fit our plate back. So this plate is tricky. It has a piece of metal sticking out of it, so we might have to finagle it in to some degree. No, it's behaving. At least it did. So I think that is correct. It's on there now. Now we want to just reinstall our screws. So again, keep in mind you're right next to that coil. Oh, I didn't get a lot of that on camera. My apologies. Okay, keep in mind we're next to this coil. So do what you got to do to not slip and hit it, because that would be bad. I just slipped right there. Luckily my finger was in the way and nothing happened. I have to reposition this plate now. Oof. Should be okay. Let's try that again. Obviously, this kind of stuff requires tremendous patience and a steady hand, which my hands are not super steady. Steady enough, I suppose. Take your time with the screw, do not slip. Okay, so stuff just moved around a bit. I think that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that screw on a little loose. So that I could start the other one now. So my plate's lifting off a bit. If you there is some spring tension there, so be careful. If you don't press down on this on the plate, your screw might fly. So fair warning there. Beautiful. Don't slip and damage our capacitor here. Very good. Just tighten it enough to where it's nice and snug. I think that's good. All right. I do believe that has been installed. So we have our new old capacitor now installed. Now we want to get our gear thing, our cog, back in. This cog charges the capacitor, I believe. So what we see here is there is a little cog sticking out right over here, and the teeth of this need to line up with that. So that's all we're trying to do here, if I recall correctly. And you just need to rotate your cog on this post until it falls in place. Which that might be correct, actually. Yeah, I think that's right. There it goes, I think. Yeah, now it's on. I think. No. I think that's it right there. Okay. Appears to be installed. So now we're going to plop our rotor back on. And our rotor has gone into its happy place there. Happy rotor. Get our rotor screw. And then we're going to get our 2.0, right? The biggest, fattest screwdriver I've got should work. Right? No, I think I messed up. I think I did 1.6, right? I think we should go with the 1.6 on this. Yeah, that feels much better. Purple band 1.6. Okay, I'm not going to tighten it all the way down. I just want to double check and make sure that we're doing... Yes. So if you see your... if you see this little guy spin right here next to the cog, it's really, really difficult to pick that up on camera, but it is engaging. That means our rotor's on properly. So we'll go ahead and tighten that down so it doesn't come apart, because it should be, it seems to be in the right place. So give it a nice little tighten, and I think we're good. I'm gonna go ahead and I bought a new gasket greaser thing. I just have no clue where I put it. Let me look for him up for a moment. Yeah. I don't know where the heck I put it. It's somewhere. I've got the old one though, so we'll have to use it for now. So, I'm going to go ahead and take the gasket off of our watch case. So we just, usually what I like to do is I just pinch it and then pull it off. Don't want to deform it too much though, it might get angry. This is a flat gasket, kind of a rare thing. Appears to be okay. It's nice and supple. It's not dried out. So I'm going to go ahead and reuse it. I think it's fine for a 100-meter watch. So because my gasket greaser is not good at its job, what I've been doing, so this is like some kind of an eye brush for a medical, like it's a medical grade eye brush. These come in individually packaged in medical packaging that are sterile. It's a sterile eye brush basically. I'm just going to use the other end. I use it for cleaning fine debris off of camera lenses and stuff like that. So I'm just going to tap it in, flip it over, and then tap in this side. Having it be big and smooth is just nice, and it just doesn't, it's not going to damage the gasket obviously. It's not going to puncture it or rip it or tear it or anything like that. That should be good to go now. So go ahead and kind of place that back on. We just want to make sure that the gasket isn't going to catch on any of these threads. Get it as close to the case back as we can get it, and off the threads. And that looks pretty good. So we should be able to install that gasket back on, which I'm going to do now. We don't want it to over tighten it. I don't really see the purpose of that. It just makes your life more difficult when you have to get into the watch again. So I'm going to kind of do this by hand until it starts getting until I get some resistance, and I'm going to finish it off with a ball. And I'm quite satisfied with that. Yeah, maybe, yeah, that's good. I think that's tight. We're good. Question is does it run? How cool would it be if this ran? Man, I'd be happy. I don't know if it's gonna run or not. Let's find out. Moment of truth. That's a good sign. That's a really good sign. So I'd imagine if I shook this around a bunch, it would probably start working. Perhaps I need to put it back in the watch finder. So we're now going to reinstall our... I'm going to have to clean this watch up with a microfiber cloth too. I'm getting fingerprints all over it. I'm going to reinstall the bracelet now. I'll try and do this on camera. Sorry everybody. What do we want to do? We want to move this guy like that. So I just put the spring bar through, get it in on one side. And then we should be able to just push this in. Just like that. And our spring bar is now, our watch bracelet's now reinstalled. Oh, look at that, it's ticking! And that is how you replace a capacitor in a Seiko Kinetic GMT watch with a caliber 5M65. And I can't remember what the capacitor is, what the capacitor model is, but I'm going to throw it in the description. That is a beautifully ticking watch. So I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna throw it on my watch winder. I'm gonna let it really let the capacitor build up energy. And yeah, beautiful watch. So what is a watch like this worth on the used market? I don't know, 300, 400 maybe? Well, the MSRP on this was 600. I don't know how old this particular model is. Maybe it's from the late 2000s perhaps, maybe early 2010s, I'm not sure. So it might be 10 years old ish, 20 years old perhaps. Yeah, I would probably ask for 400 for this watch in new old stock condition, which this one is. It's never been worn. It just needs to be cleaned up. It's got some stuff on the bracelet though. Hopefully that's just gunk and it comes off with alcohol wipes is what I'm hoping. But yeah, the bezel is in phenomenal shape. You could always tell when a watch hasn't been used by the condition of its bezel, because when you wear a watch, also the crystal, but this is a sapphire crystal, so you can't really use that as an indication of wear. But you can see how shiny and scratch-free the bezel is. That's a really good indicator of how, and also the case and the bracelet. I mean, look at how shiny everything is. It's all brushed beautifully. So I think this could pass as a new old stock watch, and I would probably ask for 400. Once I've charged up this capacitor and verify that it's fully running, I'll probably time it for about a month just to make sure everything's good, going according to plan, and then I'd probably start it at 400. And that's my intent with this timepiece. This is the timepiece I bought to sell. It's going to cover some other timepieces that I have bought. That's kind of the point of this, is to for every one watch I keep, I gotta sell 3. So it's a smart way to do this hobby in my mind. Okay, so dimensions. The case size is about 44 millimeters. This is a huge watch. The lug is really weird on this, because the lug, honestly, like a lot of the lug is just a bracelet. So I'll do the best job I can. Looks to be about 53 millimeter lug to lug. What else do we want? Thickness. This is going to be a thick boy, probably 13 millimeter, I'm thinking. Okay, 15 actually. Yeah, it's about 15 millimeter thick. And then what's the last measurement? The lug width. This is a weird watch. The lug really does start a bit short, honestly. Lug width's about 22 millimeters, but the bracelet, I mean, it tapers pretty significantly. We're talking like 34, 35 millimeters at the fat end. So, well, there you go. Beautiful. This is the first Seiko Kinetic watch I have ever fixed, as far as a capacitor replacement goes. Well, period. I've only owned a few of these watches. The other one I sold for parts because I damaged it like a imbecile. But I have learned a lot since I worked on that watch, and this is the second Kinetic I've ever worked on, with tremendous success, might I add. So this is now a 40-minute video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I helped you fix your Seiko GMT Kinetic watch with this movement. This was a helpful video. Please like and subscribe. I'd appreciate that. And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care and goodbye.